Ninetales. So elegant, so dangerous. Wait a sec, that's the wrong franchise. This is Brush Fox. Instead of 9 tails, it has 9 points of contact. And today, we're finding out if it actually deserves the hype. One quick thing before we get into testing. This bay technically comes as the prize bay from the CX-06 random booster in Takara Tomy. However, I'm not going to be using that one. I'm going to be using the Hasbro release right here. The only difference between them is the QR code on the back. The Hasbro version has a green QR code on the back, and the Takara Tomy version does not. It's the same mold, same parts, same testing conditions. So before we even touch the stadium, we spent a lot of time on research. And by research, I don't mean just copying tournament lists. I'm looking at how this blade is shaped, how it makes contact, what kind of behavior that shape actually supports. Brush Fox has 9 points of contact. That immediately tells me something important. This blade isn't built for one giant hit, it's built for frequent engagements. It wants a lot of touches and it wants to have a lot of pressure. So the goal wasn't to force it into something it's not. The goal was to support what the blade already wants to do. When we say attack type, that doesn't always mean pure chaos. So for this test, we're looking for 3 things on the screen. Consistent engagement, controlled aggression, and the ability to stay in the fight. If a combo doesn't do at least 2 of those, it doesn't belong in the test. The bits were the biggest filter. There are a lot of bit types, but they fall into few functional categories. High speed attack bits. These look exciting, but with Brush Fox they cause too many self KOs and inconsistent re-entries. Pure stamina bits. These survived longer, but they didn't create enough pressure. The blade was just spinning, but not fighting. The balance and control bits. This is where things got interesting. Bits like low flat and kick gave us controlled movement. Enough speed to engage, but also not so much that every hit turned into a gamble. These bits let the blade work instead of fighting the bit. We tested some other setups off camera. Some combinations look good on paper, but once they hit the stadium, they either lost spin too fast, couldn't re-engage, or knocked themselves out. If a part didn't support consistent contact, it got cut. This isn't about finding one lucky combo. It's about understanding why something works. So when we get into the battles, you'll see exactly which ideas held up and which ones didn't. Now with that out of the way, let's get into the matchups and see what actually survived the data. All Fox Brush combos were built on low flat besides one, because I wanted maximum contact and fast engagements. There are 10 battles per matchup, same opponents across the entire board. Alright, so let's break this down and rank these builds based on what actually happened in testing. To recap, we ran 50 battles per build, we tracked the wins, losses, and total points. The points matter here because bursts or extreme finishes are worth more than just scraping by on spin finishes. So coming in at number 4, we have Fox Brush Jaggy 160 low flat. This build finished with a 16-34 record, earning 67 points out of a possible 150, which puts it about 45% efficiency. When it worked, it really worked. It absolutely bullied Hover Wyvern, going 8-2 in that matchup. But outside of that, it struggled hard. Wizard Rod completely shut it down at 0-10, and the inconsistency across the rest of the field dragged it down. This combo is explosive in the right matchup, but it's way too dependent on that one lane to rank any higher. Coming in at number 3 is Fox Brush Free 960 Kick. This one finished 24-26 with 74 total points, or roughly 49% of the max points available. This build had the biggest spikes of the entire set. Kick gave it movement, Free kept it active, and when it connected, it cashed in real points. Its standout matchup was against Phoenix Wing, where it went 7-3, and when it was winning, it often won big. The problem here was its consistency. It had the same win count as our top build, but it dropped more low value losses, which cost us in total points. It has a high ceiling, but a very low floor. Our number 2 build was Emperor Brush Turn 560 Low Flat. This one went 19 to 31, but still earned 80 points, which is about 53% efficiency. This build was the monster of the test. Even when it lost, it still generated high value finishes, often enough to stay near the top in total points. The extra weight helped it survive contact, and when it landed clean hits, it really paid off. Its best matchup was Golem Rock at 6 to 4. What held it back was how rough some of the matchups were, especially Wizard Rod and Phoenix Wing. It's powerful, but more matchup dependent than our top pick. And finally, in the number 1 spot, we have Fox Brush Wheel 160 Low Flat. This build finished 24 to 26 with 81 total points, making it the highest scoring combo at about 54% of max points. This build was the most balanced build that we had tested. Low Flat kept it aggressive without consistent self-knockouts, and the Wheel Assist Blade gave it the cleanest, most consistent contact pattern across the board. It didn't hard lose any matchups and stayed relatively competitive everywhere else. It went 5 to 5 against Rock Golem, 6 to 4 against Hover Wyvern, and 6 to 4 against Silver Wolf. That consistency is what won it the top spot. Now, it's not the flashiest, but it's still the most reliable out of all the builds that we tested. So the takeaway here is simple. Wheel is the most consistent. Emperor hits the hardest in points. Free plus Kick had the highest spike potential. And Jagger only really shined in one matchup. So if you're building Fox Brush and want something that actually holds up across the meta, build Wheel on Low Flat. That is definitely where I would start. And that is the breakdown. Every build here earned its rankings through the real matches, real opponents, and repeatable results. No shortcuts, no assumptions, just testing until the numbers made the decision for us. And this is exactly how we'll keep approaching the meta, identifying what actually works and push Beyblade X forward one experiment at a time. If you want more data-driven testing like this, subscribe and turn on the notifications so you don't miss the next round. And let us know in the comments what you want thrown into the arena next, and we'll test it. This is Burst Lab X, and we'll see you on the next one.